What if something as simple as tapping on your face and body could actually change the way you feel, think, and respond to life? I'll be honest, I didn't believe it at first either. But EFT or tapping has honestly helped me change my life. It's helped me stop drinking, it's helped me change and rewire old patterns, and it's even helped me be more confident. If you're curious to find out more, keep listening. Welcome back to Dear Curious Soul. I'm Tashankar. Thank you for being here and sharing this space with me today. In today's episode, I'm diving into EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, or tapping as it's more commonly known. I can honestly say that EFT has helped to change my life, and I am consistently blown away that something so simple can have such lasting effects. I'd actually heard about tapping many years ago, but I didn't really understand what it was. I thought it was just a way to stop negative thoughts from repeating. Then, when I did my holistic life coach certification, I learned a little bit more about it and how I could use it with clients. Again, I thought it was interesting, but nothing more. I tried it a couple of times, but just didn't feel like anything was happening, so I just pushed it aside. It wasn't until I was working with a counselor to help me create a healthier relationship with alcohol that I really experienced the benefits. And I was amazed by what it could do. As I always say, there's a time for everything. Since then, I've used it consistently for so many different things. And I've now completely stopped drinking alcohol with the help of EFT. If you want to hear more about that, check out my episode, How Curiosity Helped Me Stop Drinking Alcohol. So let's get curious. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and it's often called tapping. It's a simple self help tool that combines elements of psychology and acupressure. You gently tap on specific points on your face and upper body with two or more fingers while focusing on a problem like stress, anxiety, or a limiting belief, while saying statements out loud to help release emotional blocks. EFT was developed in the 1990s by Gary Craig, based on an earlier method called thought field therapy, created by psychologist Dr. Roger Callahan. TFT uses specific tapping sequences for different issues, whereas EFT simplified this into one sequence for everything, making it much easier to use as a self help tool. Gary Craig actually passed away earlier this year, and I just think what a beautiful legacy he leaves behind. I know I'm incredibly grateful for his work. Okay, so you might be wondering, how does EFT work and why does it work? EFT works by calming the body's stress response and helping the mind and body reconnect in a balanced way. When you think about something upsetting and gently tap on specific acupressure points, you send a soothing signal to the brain, particularly the amygdala, which is the part responsible for fear and stress. This process helps lower cortisol, which is the body's main stress hormone, and teaches your nervous system that you're safe, even while thinking about something really uncomfortable. But tapping isn't just about the physical points. The statements you say while tapping are just as important. These statements help you acknowledge what you are truly feeling and then gradually shift toward a more positive or empowering thought. So it may sound something like, even though I feel anxious, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And the empowering thought may be, I'm open to feeling calm and confident now. By pairing the tapping with honest, emotionally connected statements, you're engaging both the body and the mind at the same time. You're essentially releasing the emotional charge from old memories or beliefs while rewiring your brain's response to them. Think of it as updating your body's emotional software. Instead of automatically reacting with stress or fear, your system learns a calmer, more balanced way to respond. Tapping can help with a wide range of emotional and even physical issues. People use it to reduce stress, anxiety, fears, phobias, cravings, and pain. It can also support better sleep, confidence, and emotional balance. Some even use it for deeper personal growth, like letting go of old beliefs or past trauma. And you can do it anywhere, on the bus, while you're walking, before you go to bed, or just before you walk into a meeting that makes you feel anxious. As I've mentioned, I've used tapping to completely change my relationship with alcohol, shift old beliefs around my self worth and money, build confidence in dancing, especially before performances, and even support me in speaking Spanish. The possibilities really are endless. As powerful as tapping is, it's not a magic fix. It doesn't always work instantly, and sometimes you need support from a trained practitioner to get to the deeper layers. And it's not a replacement for medical or psychological care, it's a complementary tool. Tapping is generally very safe. The only side effects some people might experience are emotional. For example, memories or strong feelings can surface during a session. That's actually part of the healing process, but it can feel really intense at times. Almost anyone can tap, but people who have severe mental health conditions or trauma should ideally work with a qualified therapist or EFT practitioner rather than doing it alone. This ensures they have the proper support if deeper emotions come up. When we tap in EFT, we're stimulating specific points on the body that come from traditional Chinese medicine, the same meridian points used in acupressure and acupuncture. Each point is connected to an energy pathway or meridian that relates to organs and emotions. By tapping on those points, we're helping the body release any stuck energy and bring the nervous system back into balance. Our bodies are always looking to get back into balance, and EFT is a wonderful tool to help you do that. From what I've seen, different practitioners use slightly different tapping orders, and some tap with 2 fingers while others use 4. I personally use 2 because that's how my counselor taught me, but really, there's no strict rule here. So go with what feels most natural and comfortable for you. Here is a very simple rundown of each tapping point, where it is, and what's associated with it. The side of the hand, also called the karate chop point. So this is on the outer edge of your hand between the wrist and the base of your little finger. This point is often used to address feelings of resistance, self sabotage, or inner conflict. That's why we start with it. It helps set up the mind to accept the tapping process. The next point is the top of the head. So, this is right in the center at the top of your head, your crown. This point helps balance the entire energy system and connects to overall spiritual alignment and clarity. It's like a reset button for your body's energy field. The next point is the eyebrow point. So it's just at the beginning of the eyebrow, just above the bridge of the nose. This point is connected to feelings of fear, anxiety, and inattention. Tapping here helps calm the mind and release mental stress or overthinking. The next one is the side of the eye. Now, it's on the bone beside the outer corner of the eye, not on the temple. This point is associated with anger, frustration, and resentment. Tapping here helps to erase those emotions and restore emotional balance. The next is under the eye. So it's on the bone directly under the eye, in line with the pupil. This point helps release worry, fear, and anxiety that's held in the stomach area. It's also really good for grounding and calming the body when we feel overwhelmed. The next spot is under the nose. So just between your upper lip and your nose. This point can help release feelings of shame, guilt, or powerlessness. It's great for restoring self confidence and self acceptance. The next point is the chin. So, in the crease between the lower lip and your chin, this point relates to feelings of confusion, uncertainty, or self doubt. Tapping here can help you bring emotional alignment between what you think and what you feel. The next point is the collarbone point. So, that's just below the hard bump of your collarbone, slightly towards your chest. This is linked to the kidney meridian, which is connected to fear and the fight or flight response. Tapping here helps calm anxiety and strengthen feelings of safety and stability. The next spot is under the arm, so about a hand's width below the armpit, on your bra line, roughly in line with your nipple. This point helps with feelings of worry, low self esteem, and insecurity. It's also linked to nurturing yourself and feeling supported. The first time I tried EFT, I was very curious to know how do I tell if it's working? When you're doing EFT, the signs that it's working can be very subtle at first, but they're usually quite noticeable once you know what you're looking for. The first sign is your emotional intensity changes. Before you start a tapping sequence, you usually rate how strongly you feel about an issue, say on a scale from 0 to 10. As you tap, that number should drop. You might start from a 9 and go to a 5, or start at a 6 and go to a 2. Those are clear signs that the emotional charge is releasing. Even if it doesn't go down to 0, any decrease means it's working. You just need to tap a bit more. The next sign is your body relaxes. You might feel your shoulders drop, your breath deepen, your jaw unclench. Some people may sigh or even feel a wave of calm or lightness. I tend to yawn a lot and sometimes actually feel a change in my energy, like how I feel after a good meditation session. Those are all signs your nervous system is shifting from a stressed state into a relaxed one. The third sign that EFT is working is your thoughts may shift. As you tap, you may notice your perspective starting to change. You might think, actually, that's not as bad as I thought, or I can handle this. That mental shift from being stuck in the emotion to seeing it more calmly is a sign that your brain and your body are integrating the change. And the fourth sign is that you might feel an emotional release. Sometimes tapping brings up tears, laughter, or even unexpected memories. That's not a bad thing. It just means that you're accessing and releasing old emotional energy that was stored in the body. And the fifth sign is that you may notice changes later. Even after a tapping session, you might find that something that used to trigger you just doesn't bother you as much anymore. Or you might make a choice that feels easier or more aligned. Those real life changes are often the biggest sign that EFT is working. In short, if you feel calmer, clearer, lighter, or even more at ease, even a little, that's progress. EFT often works in layers, so it's very normal to revisit an issue a few times, each time peeling away another layer of emotion or belief until the charge is completely gone. If you're curious to try tapping for yourself, I've released a bonus episode where I guide you through a step by step tapping exercise that I use to help me stop drinking. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this episode, it's this. You don't need complicated tools to create change. Sometimes it's the simplest practices like tapping, like slowing down, like tuning into your body that create the deepest shifts. So if this has sparked even a little bit of curiosity in you, I really encourage you to try it for yourself. Start small, stay open, and just notice what shifts. If you want to learn more about EFT, I've added some links to some free resources, including a really interesting documentary, The Tapping Solution by Nicholas Ortner, so you can explore this further. And if you would like to support the podcast, please consider sharing this episode with someone who feels like the right person. It might be exactly what they need to hear right now. Thank you for listening with an open mind, a kind heart, and your dear, curious soul. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the whispers of your soul.